Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today's case that I'm going to be talking to you about is the Jennifer Joyce Kesse case. So let's dive in. Okay. Jennifer Joyce Kesse was born on May the 20th, 1981 in New Jersey in the United States. She had disappeared on January the 23rd, 2006 at age 24. And this had been in Florida in the United States. She has been missing currently since doing this video, which is over 16 years. Her education is at the University of Central Florida. Her height is 5'8". So Jennifer is an American woman from Orlando in Florida who has been missing since January the 23rd, 2006. Shortly after she vanished, Kesse's car had been discovered parked around a mile from her home, and the security footage had recorded a person parking Kesse's car and walking away from this car, and this person could never be identified. So they can't be identified as a male or female. So where they could not distinguish any of the physical features and the obscured camera, they just could not see anything. So this case had received local and national and media and press attention. So far there have been no arrests that have been made, and Kesse's whereabouts remains unknown. So prior events to her disappearance then, a graduate of Vivian Gathering High School in Tampa in Florida, Kesse had attended the University of Central Florida in Orlando and had graduated in 2003 with a degree in finance. And at this time she had disappeared, and she was working as a finance manager at the Central Florida Investments, and also she was involved in the time sharing of the company in Ocoee. And it had recently then bought a condominium in Orlando. So the weekend then before she had vanished, Kesse had vacationed with her boyfriend in St. Croix, US in Virgin Islands. After returning on Sunday, she had spent the night at her boyfriend's house, and then she had drove straight to work on the morning then of Monday, January the 23rd, 2006. So let's talk about her disappearance. So Kesse was seen for the last time leaving her work at approximately 6 p.m. and this was on January 23rd, 2006, and she was spoke on the phone with her father while she was driving home at around 6:15 p.m. and then with her boyfriend at around 10 p.m. She was in a habit of texting or telephoning her boyfriend before leaving for work, and so it was unusual when she did not text the next morning. So his call to her went straight to voicemail. When Kesse then had failed to arrive at her work, her employer contacted her parents, who set out on a 2-hour drive from their home to hers. And Kesse's parents noticed that her car had gone missing, but saw that there was nothing out of the ordinary in her home. There was a wet towel and clothes that was laid out, among other things, suggested that she was headed she had had a shower and she got dressed and prepared ready for work that morning. Her friends and family had distributed some flyers about Kesse about the evening, and this was through the Orlando police as well. The department then organised some search parties on foot and on some horseback, as well as by boat, helicopter, car and an ATV. The timeline of events was approximately based on witness statements at this time. So Monday, January 23rd, 2006 at 6 p.m, Kesse leaves her work and calls her parents. This is the last time that her family hears from her, and she arrives home for the first time since having left for her vacation. At 10 p.m, Kesse and her boyfriend talked on the phone, and they had gone and said their goodnights. He is the last known person to speak with her before her disappearance. So, Tuesday, January the 24th, 2006, between 7:30 a.m. and 8 a.m., investigators initially believed that Kesse was abducted as she was walking from her front door to her car. They now believe that she left and was abducted at some point on her way to work. Between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m., Kesse's boyfriend, and whom she was normally called but did not call to, which was on her way to work. But this had gone directly to voicemail, and he chalks it up to a meeting that she had mentioned to him. His subsequent attempts are likewise unsuccessful, and Kesse's parents calls him to say that she failed up to show up for work. At 11 a.m, alarmed at Kesse's uncharacteristic no call, no show, her employer contacts her parents, who begin the drive from Tampa right to Orlando. On the way, they call to ask the manager of her condominium to check her home with a spare key, and he reports that everything appears to be normal inside this condominium. But her car remains to be missing outside. 12 p.m, only 1.2 miles from Kesse's home, surveillance cameras at an apartment complex record a person parking her car and walking away. The car and footage are not discovered until these 2 days later. 3 p.m. to 3:15 p.m, Kesse's parents and brother arrived at her apartment, and they find evidence that she had been home that morning. They called the police. As Kesse is an adult, police initially hold that she may have left of her own will. At 5 p.m. to 7 p.m, family and friends had gone and searched the area with flyers and showed some of Kesse's pictures as well. The police sent a detective to her home and began interrogating and doing some searches. Thursday, January 26, 2006 at 8:10 a.m. Seeing Kesse's car on the news, a tenant of a nearby complex informs the police that it had sat abandoned in front of their apartment for several days. Police confirms that it is Kesse's 2004 Chevy Malibu. The vehicle is photographed and taken for a forensic exam. The police then examine the local surveillance footage and discover that it is an unidentified person parking a car and walking away. The investigation then is with no sign of forced entry or struggle. Investigators initially theorized that on the morning of January the 24th, Kesse left her apartment for work and locked her front door, only to be abducted at some point while walking towards or getting into her car. On January 26, around 8:10 a.m, her black 2004 Chevy Malibu was found parked at another apartment complex about a mile from her own. Investigators were excited to learn that the several hidden cameras at the apartments surveyed the part of the lot where the car had been parked, as well as the exit. The surveillance footage showed an unidentified person of interest dropping Kesse's vehicle off at approximately noon, the day that she had gone missing. None of her family or friends recognized the person, and this person had not been very clear on the camera footage. Investigators were disheartened to find that the best video capture of the subject in 3 separate snapshots was observed by the complex fencing, the posts aligning to conceal their face. One journalist called the suspect the luckiest person of interest ever. The FBI was called in to help determine the person's size, gender, but could only say they stood between 5'3" and 5'5". The NASA then also enhanced the video to help determine this person's size and gender also. Detectives interpreted the valuables left in the vehicle to imply that robbery was not a motive in this case, and that a search dog had then tracked a scent that led from a parked car to a complex, prompting detectives to the route. Forensic examination of the car yielded little in the way of any evidence, only to later print a small DNA fibre. Investigators deducted then that the car had been wiped down. The following items are known to be missing, which is a cell phone, her iPod, and also her keys. Also, it is her purse, her briefcase, and an outfit that she was wearing. The authorities then were unable to ping her cell phone. Its power was remaining off. Her bank account keycard has not been used since her disappearance, and as it's customary, investigators first questioned Kesse's immediate family and all of her close friends to see if any of them could have had any motive to abduct her, which could have been her ex-boyfriend that was recently upset and wishing to get back together with her. He also got interrogated, but it was concluded that he had nothing to do with the abduction. Her current boyfriend was also questioned, but his alibi checked out, eliminating him as a suspect. At the time of her disappearance, Kesse's condominium complex had been undergoing a major expansion, and may have been labourers on the site were being non-English speaking. Kesse told family members on several occasions that the construction workers constantly catcalled and whistled at her and also harassed her. Due to the language barrier, investigators were unable to interrogate many of them. No other leads regarding them were discovered. Detectives then turned their focus to her place of her employment and began questioning all of her co-workers. Her computer was taken in for forensic examination, which revealed that a manager where she worked desired a relationship with her, but that she had refused his advances because she opposed workplace relationships. Detectives interviewed this manager multiple times, but they had ruled him out as a suspect. So investigators and Kesse's family and friends remained open to the theory that she fell victim to human trafficking, or considered it less likely than others. In May of 2007, Kesse's company, led then by David A. Segal, offered a $1 million reward for information leading to her whereabouts with the July the 4th deadline and the stipulation that she had to be alive. It was never claimed. A $5,000 reward for information leading to the whereabouts of her remains was available through Central Florida Crime Line. The case received state and national press attention at the time of her disappearance. She is still considered missing and endangered by the Orlando Police Department. The FBI, Orange County Sheriff's Office, FDLE, the NCIC, the NCMA, and Interpol. On May the 2nd, 2008, the Florida House of Representatives unanimously passed Senate Bill 502, quote, the Jennifer Kesse and Tiffany Sessions Missing Persons Act, to reform how missing persons cases are handled in Florida as of June the 10th, 2010. The FBI has taken the case over from the Orlando Police Department. So it did so at the urging of the police chief Val Demings. Kesse remains on the FBI's most wanted and missing list, for the latest search for her took place in February 2014, and the investigators continue to receive and pursue leads. In 2018, Kesse's parents filed a lawsuit then against the Orlando Police Department to gain access to police records on the case. The lawsuit was settled in March of 2019, allowing the family to have access. And this was the records of 16,000 pages. in the media. In 2020, Fox News Investigates released a podcast on Kesse's disappearance, House of Broken Dreams, the Jennifer Kesse story. There's been credible information in the case that is new in the evidence photos that was previously obtained by the Fox News investigative unit that suggested something was very violent, including a struggle that had gone and taken place. And this may have been on the hood of Kesse's car. So the excerpts of police files also reveals that the authorities immediately suspected a physical assault on the hood. Detective Julia Gorsey of the Orlando Police Department wrote of the police at the scene at quoting, while observing the front of Kesse's vehicle, these detectives observed what appeared to have been someone being pushed across head of the vehicle, quote. It looked like someone was thrown down on top of the hood. And this was with arms that were spread out and then dragged back almost like off the hood to the point where you can almost see fingers scribbling down the hood. Drew Kesse told Fox News there was a woman who was a former housekeeper at the complex, said a man known as, quote, Chino, was working on Kesse's condominium the week before she had vanished. As reported by CBS News, the woman also told detectives that the person on the footage resembled this Chino, and this was based on his clothing and his hairstyle too, and the way he had walked. Reviewing the recordings from the anonymous tip line, Detective Joel Wright found a message from an anonymous tipster saying they also thought a man named Chino was responsible for Kesse's disappearance. So the CBS News reported the authorities eventually tracked Chino to a prison where he was serving time for statutory rape. Although he admittedly knew Kesse, he passed the polygraph test and was never named a suspect in her case. Private investigator Michael Toretta, who was hired by Kesse's parents, said that he believes as many as 10 construction workers were living in an unfinished condominium that was across the hall from Kesse at the time that she was abducted. As reported by the CBS, he also learned that someone then observed the workers disposing of a carpet from the condominium and replacing it with a new one on the day of Kesse's disappearance. And in November 2019, a dive team searched the lake where the carpet was reportedly dumped. However, there was no trace of this carpet that was said. Okay, so that is what I could find so far on Jennifer's case. So I decided to do a tarot card reading to see what will come out. This is allegedly, this is not for definite. This is just to see what actually may have happened. So I had done 4 specific questions like I do in all my videos. Number 1, what happened to Jennifer Joyce Kesse? 2, who was involved in the disappearance of Jennifer Joyce Kesse? 3, where is Jennifer Joyce Kesse? And 4, what is the final outcome to be for Jennifer Joyce Kesse's case? Number 1, what happened to Jennifer Joyce Kesse? The first card that came out then was the Wheel of Fortune. So things was turning in her favour and was to go very well. There was to be happiness, abundance and prosperity, and there was to be a overseas trip or a trip and journey over water. Knight of Cups. There was a young male who was very charming, very caring and romantic that came in and took some action. He had explored his passions and he acted on his own feelings. Page of Cups. There was a new idea or opportunity that came out of the blue and someone was very curious. Reverse Ace of Wands. There was the idea that had merged and someone had gone and made them feel very uncertain in what form they was going to be taken. There was a struggle to know what they had wanted. Eight of Swords. She felt trapped or she felt restricted by someone or due to a certain circumstance. Reverse High Priestess, they was being very swayed by someone's opinions and needing to try and focus on what was right. Someone kept information from Jennifer and was saying some mistruths about her. Seven Swords, there was someone that had theft, betrayed, or tricked Jennifer. And also they tried to get away with it. And there was also some sneaky behaviour that was involved. Who was involved in the disappearance of Jennifer Joyce Kesse? And we had the Ace of Cups. There had been some involvement with helping out, involvement with some security. They had a love offer or invitation, and they had some emotions that they wanted to share. Reverse Page of Pentacles. They had explored a new job and a new business. Reverse King of Pentacles. There was a male who was a workaholic that had a lot of money obsessions. Reverse High Priestess. They were wrapped up in someone's drama. There was information being kept withheld. There was also some mistruths that was being spread. Ace of Wands, they acted on their own instincts and was very motivated and trusted their own instincts. Reverse Chariot, there was a change of heart or a direction about someone or something, and they didn't feel as committed to it as they once was. Strength, there was confrontation and determination and trying to be calm in a situation. Someone had gone and underestimated someone. Reverse Empress, Jennifer tried to rediscover herself. There was some overprotectiveness of someone that was very codependent. Reverse World, there was some personal issues that needed closure. Knight of Cups, there's a young male who's romantic, charming, and took action on their passions and also their feelings. Reverse Emperor, there is a male that was very rigid and overused his power. There was insecurities and potential father issues with this person. They was possessive, controlling, and overbearing. Reverse Two of Swords. They were faced at a difficult decision, didn't know which direction to take. There was a third party involvement and refused to see a situation from a different angle. Ace of Pentacles. There was a new beginning and also some wealth coming in. Where is Jennifer Joyce Kesse? And we had the first card that was reverse Seven of Wands. There was some pressures that kept weighing her down and she felt like giving up, but she kept fighting for what was right. She had stood strong and someone may have questioned her choices. Reverse Star. She had struggled a great deal and lost faith. There was a lot of overwhelmness. Strength. There was also more confrontation and having determination and overcoming things, but trying to be calm because someone was getting underestimated. Reverse Star. She had struggled a great deal and lost faith. Reverse Ace of Swords. There was a breakthrough and also seeking some truths. Hermit. There was loneliness and being alone. Queen of Pentacles. There's a female that may be Jennifer that had a full-time job that is very independent and being very stable. Reverse Page of Pentacles. There is to explore something but not ready. There is also learning from some past mistakes as well. What is the final outcome to be for Jennifer Joyce Kesse? Reverse World. There is to be a personal issue that needs closure to eventually move on. Hierophant. There is to be a government or some form of spiritual practice and religion. There is also that involvements. Six of Swords. There is to be leaving a situation in the past and behind and to accept some new changes. Reverse Three of Wands. There is to be growth and expansion and choosing to play things safe. And there is also some disappointments. Reverse King of Cups. There's a male that's affected someone's emotions due to causing upset and drama. And they know how to push buttons, causing depression. There is also blackmail or emotional manipulation that is involved. Seven of Swords. There is to be a reveal of betrayal, trickery, or theft involvements. Reverse Three of Swords. There's words that were spoken that is to be powerful. there is a lot of hurt to try and let go of. There is to be wanting to try and make peace. Magician. There's to be a good or bad surprise to be revealed, and there is to be focus on staying on track. Reverse Five of Swords. There is to be a reveal of a lot of arguments and realizing no matter what they want, they're going to lose it, and they have to try and fight against each other. There's a possible ex that creep back in, trying to make things difficult, and making things be very negative. Reverse Two of Pentacles. There was a struggle to try and maintain the things, and there is a lot of stress that is going to be getting to someone. Reverse Four of Cups. There is someone who's very withdrawn, trying to keep grounded, but possibly shutting up their loved ones, and there is a lot of support that is needed there. Reverse Moon. There is dealing with the fears and anxiety and negative influences that is to be subsiding. Okay then, so that is the case of Jennifer Joyce Kesse. That is the information I found online, and also that is the tarot cards that I have done. If you enjoy my videos, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I also have more other YouTube channels as well, which I'm going to keep in the description box below. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.